on the Lions of Linfield Christian. I'm Jeff Gorham. I'm joined by my co-host tonight, my good friend Pep Fernandez. Pep, a very, very tough non-league game going on tonight.
Yeah, and Jeff, here's the best part. This is a flex game for Riverside TV, right? So the fans got to vote and pick the game that they wanted to see, and it was Norda Vista and Linfield Christian. And yeah, for Norda Vista, you know, that first game of the year, remember, against Hesperia, didn't look too good. But since then, the Braves have rattled off a couple wins. They're going up against a very talented and well-coached Linfield Christian team. If they can win their third game in a row, look out now. I mean, Norda Vista might be gaining some confidence, some momentum as we get closer to River Valley League action.
Well, I'll tell you what, after losing 19 starters last year for this Norda Vista team, Ken Batdorf always seems to be able to rebuild. He always has great running backs. A couple we're going to hear about tonight.
Yeah, Richardson, of course, right? He's going to be the main guy. And then it's kind of a funny story, and Coach Batdorf said it himself, that Brian Temple, the other guy playing running back, he was trying receiver, didn't catch the ball that well, so they put him at running back, and he has been running off it ever since, averaging about 20 yards per carry. So between Temple and Richardson, and now you throw in the big guy, Damon Iosefa, those are three great running backs for Norda Vista.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is going to finish up the preseason as the Braves are going to head into River Valley League Conference next week. We will have tonight's game here on Riverside TV.
California leads the nation in railroad trespass-related fatalities. In 2021, there were 243 trespass casualties in California. We can all help reduce trespass-related incidents even further if we never trespass on railroad property for any reason. That means no biking or walking near tracks. Railroad property is private property. The only safe place to cross train tracks is at a designated crossing. September is Rail Safety Month. Please do your part. And whenever you see tracks, always think train.
And now joining us, the head coach of the Linfield Christian Lions, a dear friend of mine, Deshaun Burns. And, Coach, it's always good to see you.
Good seeing you.
We've been talking about this matchup all week long. And what we like about this matchup is, you know, I know you're too humble to say it yourself, but two great coaches, yourself and Ken Batdorf over at Norda Vista. I know you guys are friendly as well.
Yes.
Is it fun to go up against a guy that you respect and know so well?
Oh, definitely. Anytime you got a chance to compete and keep it above board, it's always awesome. I've been watching his career. Matter of fact, 5 years ago, we coached an all-star game here, and I think Bat was on the other side. So it's always good, and I'm happy for his success. So it's neat.
All right, Coach Burns, I'm not trying to give away all your secrets here, but what do you think the Lions need to do well tonight to give yourself a chance to maybe pick up a win here at Norda Vista High School?
We got to keep the main thing, and play Lion football. So we just got to be solid and do what we're supposed to do, like minimize the mistakes, maximize the opportunities, and just stick to the game plan. So it's real simple.
And when you look at this Novi team, where do you think their strengths are? What do you have to combat tonight?
Oh, they're physical. They get downhill and they play tough football. They're representative of the coach and what's been here for years, ever since the days of Cedric Riles and back in the 80s. So they're going to be physical, and that's what we need. You know, we like to lock it in the phone booth and go to work. So that's what Novi's always been known for, and it's going to be a good night.
All gas, no brakes, right?
All gas, no brakes.
We love the hashtags.
Let's go, yes, sir.
That's Linfield Christian head coach Deshaun Burns here on Riverside TV.
California leads the nation in railroad trespass-related fatalities. In 2021, there were 243 trespass casualties in California. September is Rail Safety Month. Please do your part. And whenever you see tracks, always think train.
And we're getting set for kickoff here for the Braves and the Lions. Both teams making their way out onto the field. And Norda Vista is going to bring in a record of 2-1 overall. Linfield Christian at 1-3. And Jeff, something we touched on in the pregame show was the fact that, you know, Norda Vista dropped a tough one against Hesperia in game number 1. And we thought, oh, my gosh, the writing's on the wall. This might not be a very good season for the Braves. But they since have picked up 2 quality wins and trying to make it 3 in a row tonight. And this young team, I think, is kind of growing up right before our very eyes for head coach Ken Batdorf.
Well, you know, and Ken, to his expertise, he didn't think his team was going to be very solid starting the season. 19 starters gone. He had to bring in all new guys. He only has 4 players back, and they're linemen. He wasn't sure about his skill positions. But he seemed to have found his kind of niche with a couple running backs. He always seems to find them, and he has 2-3 solid backs that can help this very young team.
Kicking off for the Braves, number 17, Eli Martinez. Back for the Lions, number 3, Braylon Munson-McDowell. We'll probably be saying his name quite a bit as that ball's going to go out of bounds right around I think they're going to put it at the 4-yard line or so. Munson-McDowell, one of the big-time playmakers on offense for head coach Deshaun Burns and Linfield Christian. So already An uphill battle, Jeff, for the Lions, pinned up near their own goal line.
Yeah, that's one you just let go. If if you can't grab it, just dive on it. But yeah, you touch it and the ball goes out of bounds. They're already backed up pretty tough here.
The Lions are quarterbacked, and he's a pretty good one. Let's see, it's Jonathan Aguilera. He wears number 10 for head coach Deshaun Burns. 61% completion percentage on the season, just over 800 yards. 7 touchdowns through the air, 3 on the ground for Aguilera. First play, it looks like it was a fumble. Aguilera is going to fall on it. Might have got a yard on the play as he scoops it back up.
Looks like he might have thrown it out a yard and then just dove on it. But how great is it? Homecoming week here, Ken Batdorf, he's had over 200 wins. That's an incredible stat, though. He's been here 29 seasons at the helm of Norte Vista High School.
Yeah, we were doing the math. If you do the math, it's about 7 wins per season. So if you get 7 wins a season, that's pretty much making the playoffs every single year.
That makes making the playoffs, making the Hall of Fame, and probably a lot of kids named after you. When you win that many games,
I think they should build him a statue here at Norte Vista.
It would be a very large statue.
It would be.
Very. It'd have to be from when he first started here, when he had a six-pack.
Did he?
No, never. Never. Great Ken Batdorf. What a wonderful guy, though. One of the legit, as the kids would say, a legit coach, and everybody loves Ken Batdorf.
All right, looking at it, looks like about 2nd and 14 now after that flag on Linfield Christian. Aguilera is going to take out of his own end zone across the 5. Aguilera still on his feet. Got some of those yards back, and it's going to bring up about 3rd and 5 for Linfield Christian.
Aguilera, nice legs there.
Yeah.
Stepping back in the pocket, nothing there. Scrambled, made some room. He kind of went zigzagged instead of going east to or west to east here. Look, great escape move. He was nearly sacked there in the end zone.
Yeah, that's always kind of dangerous, trying to run it out of your own end zone,
Yeah.
but Aguilera able to pick up a nice chunky yardage. 3rd and short. They're going to call it 3rd and 4 now for Linfield Christian as they spot the ball on about the, looks like, 12-yard line. Oh, and met with a big hit. That has to be Damon Iosefa, and it is for Norte Vista in the backfield. A tackle for the loss. And, Jeff, we were talking to head coach Ken Batdorf before the game, and before we could even ask him about Iosefa, he brought up Iosefa, saying this guy's going to be special.
Yeah, he looked over and said, that guy, number 29, he is going to be great. And just by the eyeball test right there, he is a big-time playmaker. I believe he came down from the state of Washington. So he transferred, and tough punt here. Just
Maloney, the punt for the Lions, and it's going to stay on Linfield Christian's side of the field, about the 28-yard line. So great field position here for Norte Vista. A very short field to work with in front of them as the Braves try to get on the scoreboard first as they go on offense for the very first time tonight.
And talking about Ken Batdorf teams, his offensive line that has been the strength for years. You talk about the Malesio brothers. You talk about the Elaine Holly brothers. I mean, it all boils down to that giant offensive line. That's the toughness, the weightlifting, all the time they put in. And let's see if they run this double tight again like Ken Batdorf is known to do.
First one goes to, I think that's Richardson. Yes, it is Demarion Richardson. So we're going to say Richardson's name, Temple, and Iosefa quite a bit tonight. Got a couple of yards for Norte Vista. Under center, number 14, Dominic Johnson for Norte Vista. That ball's going to be on the turf. I think Johnson scooped it up, lunges forward, got a couple more yards. And that's going to bring up 3rd and about 3.
Yeah, that ball dropped and bounced. He was able to pick it up there. But yeah, a question mark. If 19 guys graduated, I mean, these guys are all just kind of getting their sea legs going and playing varsity football. Ken's one of those guys, he likes to have guys play on both sides of the ball. But, man, this is all new to these young Braves this year.
3rd down. The toss out to Richardson. Richardson cuts back in. That's going to be a first down and a lot more, but there is a flag behind the play as well. See if this one's going to come back on the Braves.
Yep, it's going to be holding there. Holding on the Braves.
Let's take another look here on that play. It was a good job by Richardson. Taking that toss in for a first down, but unfortunately he's going to push it back, and now the Braves will face 3rd and long coming up with 8:20 here in the first quarter.
Well, we know he's not going to throw, so we can't say he's going to pass the football, but you never know. The bag of tricks. Cam Batdorf has been known to throw the football occasionally.
I brought up the stats, Jeff. On the season, through the first 3 games, Novi quarterbacks are 3 for 14 for 13 yards through the air.
They need more than 13 right here. They need 15.
Oh, the aerial circus. Dominic Johnson swallowed up by a pride of Lions, and leading the way was number 55 for Linfield Christian, Braden Sotis. And Sotis is one of those guys on defense. We're going to say his name quite a bit as well. He's got 9 tackles for a loss on the year, 3.5 sacks, and he leads the Lions in both those categories as we take another look. And Jeff Sotis all over Dominic Johnson with nowhere to go.
He was going to step back and throw the football, for God's sake.
He really was. I think by design, that was a pass play.
That was a pass play.
All right, so 4th down, Novi punting with 7:44 here in the first. That one's going to hit the ground. It's still on the ground. It's scooped up by Novi. I think first to the ball was Marcus Lane, number 11 for the Braves. And it was Marcus Lane comes flying in, and now the Braves find themselves on the doorstep of the end zone.
That was the best offensive play of the night for Norte Vista.
Take another look. Mishandled. The ball is on the turf. And all kinds of collisions. That was number 7, Brian Temple, going in first, creating a little bit more time for Marcus Lane to follow up and scoop up that loose ball. 1st and goal for Norte Vista.
So Linfield having problems fielding the kickoff and the punt here. I remember there's been times where I don't even know if Ken Batdorf's ever punted. Some of the teams he has had, there might have been a few years where he might not have ever punted.
No.
Didn't have to.
No.
You have a guy averaging 500 yards a game.
Richardson up the middle. Turned away around the 5-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and goal for the Braves.
I mean, just in the last 10 years, you had the Malesio brothers. You had the Holly Elaine brothers.
Yeah, and we had Andrew Martinez.
Was the CIF Player of the Year
Yeah.
as a junior and was the backup running back his senior year.
Who was the other guy? Jesse Carvajal last year?
Jesse Carvajal, another great one. But, yeah, Freddie Holly came in and became the starting running back. Remember that was the 1-2 punch?
Man, can you imagine Holly and Andrew Martinez in the same backfield? Unbelievable. 2nd and goal here for the Braves. Johnson under center. The toss to Iosefa. Oh, lots of Lions in the area, and Iosefa nowhere to go, and that's easier said than done. Iosefa's a big fellow. We saw him already making a big play on defense, and now Ken Batdorf turning to him to maybe just muscle his way right across the goal line.
Well, both of these coaches have great respect for each other, but the one guy you probably don't want to have a chess match with is Deshaun Burns. I mean, just one of the finer coaches. I mean, he's had great teams. He's had teams where he's rebuilt, but he's just one of those guys that is always in the mix and always in games.
3rd and goal for Norte Vista. Richardson up the middle, stopped short again at about the 3-yard line. We talked about it on the Coach's Perspective show this week, Jeff, on Riverside TV, the fact that, Ken Batdorf kind of called Deshaun Burns, the Linfield Christian coach, kind of an artist. Like when you see the kind of lineups he fields and what they do offensively and defensively, it's like a work of art. He's very creative. He comes up with, new things outside the box to kind of trip other teams up.
Well, he's one of those coaches, and I think I could say this about Coach Burns, is whatever the personnel he has, he's going to run whatever is best for that. And most coaches say, I'm going to run the spread. I'm going to run this. He runs whatever is best for his kids.
All right, this is a big 4th down for Norte Vista. Not a shock, they're going for it. The fake toss rolling out to his left. That is number 2, Fave Sola, and Sola is in for the touchdown. So a little bit of trickery here by Ken Batdorf on 4th down, and Jeff, it pays off as Sola finds pay dirt.
Yeah, great play, great fake. Able to get outside the entire line, pushed everybody to the right, and he was able to hit that corner. kind of nice when you have a quarterback with a little bit of speed on the outside.
6-zip. Norte Vista on the scoreboard first. Eli Martinez in to attempt the extra point. It is up, and it is all good. Right down through the uprights, and it's 7-zip. Norte Vista.
Nice.
Yeah, great looking shot outside the stadium. And here's how that touchdown was set up. The botched punt by Linfield Christian. Marcus Lane scoops it up for the Braves. Great field position. And then on 4th down, Sola, the fake toss, rolling out to his left, and get in there. 7-zip, Norte Vista. And the cheerleaders making their way back. Do they do any push-ups after touchdowns or anything?
I don't know.
Sometimes they do that. Right? Here's the tail of the tape coming into this game. You can kind of see it's different offenses, Jeff. Novi likes to run the football, 263 yards per game. Linfield Christian likes to pass the football, 201 per game. And
another drop in the end zone.
This one on the kickoff, Linfield Christian just can't seem to get out of their own way right now, which you don't want to dig yourself too big of a hole against this Norte Vista team who might have long sustaining drives as they run the football and run that clock out.
I'll tell you what, back in the olden days when you had problems with the ball sticking, you'd spray that tough skin stuff. Remember tough skin?
Yeah.
The stuff you put on your ankles before you tape them up, and it's like stick 'em.
Yeah.
Let's go spray some stick 'em.
All over Linfield Christian?
Yeah, or put your hand in some Kool-Aid and let it dry. Get nice sticky hands, for God's sakes.
Is this before gloves?
Before gloves.
Way before gloves. All right, first down for the Lions from the 20. And a nice carry here for Linfield Christian as they try to get something going. Jet Blackshear on the carry, so you know he's good with a name like Jet.
Jet Blackshear.
Jet Blackshear.
I'm going to name my next son Jet Blackshear.
Blackshear on the carry, up the middle. And that's going to be another first down for Linfield Christian. Under 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. All kinds of guys moving around.
Somebody moved, I believe.
I think everybody moved, to be honest. Oh, false start against the Lions.
Now, you've known Coach Burns for a long time.
Long time, before they had gloves.
But the one good thing you can say about Coach Burns is, and I talked to a lot of coaches, is the fundamentals of football. People, there's NFL guys that go out and seek Coach Burns' help.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys. He can train guys, and his teams are always fundamentally sound. Great tackles.
He's been at every level. He's been in the NFL. He's been Division I college football. Now he finds himself at Linfield Christian. Just very well connected because he is such a great coach. And Ken Batdorf knew coming into this game it would be a battle going up against such a great coach. And that pass by Aguilera is to nowhere. In fact, that was kind of a dangerous throw. I thought someone might be on the other end of that pass for the Braves.
Yeah, I thought Demarion Richardson had a shot. Hit him in a bad spot. You know where that spot is? Right in the hands.
You've used that before, and I
use
laugh
it
every time.
Use it every game. Watch, his balls hit right. It was thrown right to him. He was too worried about making the tackle. Make the catch, buddy.
Aguilera in that dirty pocket steps up, and
he was wide open.
Yeah, I think old Grant Taylor of the Lions heard those footsteps coming. A couple Braves in the area. The pass from Aguilera out to, looks like Dylan Kane.
What's good, though, for Linfield, if they're able to pass the football a little bit and test that secondary of Ken Batdorf, that has been the question mark with such a young team. Big boys up front, we know they have those, but the question is, can they withstand the passing game?
Yeah, we saw some of those statistics we put up on the screen a couple minutes ago that Linfield Christian, the proof is in the pudding. They're going to throw the football. And Novi, on the flip side, they're going to run the football. So kind of contrasting styles, and at least offensively, between the Lions and the Braves. 3rd and 10 for the Lions. Aguilera brought down, and that is going to be a big, big loss for the Braves. It looked like it was number 48, Benito Ceballos.
And that was done in anger. Look at that. Big-time tackle. First, he escaped the first one, and the second one.
Yeah, and there was nowhere to go, and that's actually going to be a big loss for Linfield Christian.
That hurt me.
I felt it.
I felt it here. My ribs are sore. That could have been the taco I ate.
Linfield Christian punting. Nobody back for Novi. It's going to take a little bit of a Lions bounce and finally out of bounds. So the Norte Vista offense will head back out onto the field at the 41-yard line with 2:48 here in the first quarter. So Linfield Christian had some stuff going on offense. Got a first down, completed a couple passes.
But the big loss is what can hurt you every time because they were moving the football.
And, Jeff, it is homecoming, isn't it?
It
for
is
Norte Vista
homecoming.
tonight?
We saw Zach Earp down there.
Uh-huh.
The stadium is named after him.
Yeah.
So he's like pretty popular, pretty famous guy.
That's
You know,
the guy.
I have a story about him. It's an amazing story.
1st and 10. The toss out to old number 7, Brian Temple. That's going to be close to a first down. And as we mentioned, Temple averaging about 20 yards per carry. I think it's about 18 and a half.
That's a first down every time, Pep. That's almost 2 first downs.
Look at him go.
But no, Zach Earp, he is the great-grandson of Wyatt Earp. If you didn't know this, he has a great handlebar mustache. But he started off as a campus supervisor in this Alvord district. He worked his way up to become a teacher. He worked his way up to be in the school board, and then worked his way to be the superintendent of schools. He worked at every level to become the boss of the district, and just one of those wonderful guys. Worked with my father for 30-plus years here in the district.
So definitely worthy to have a stadium named after him. 2nd down and short for Norte Vista. They did not get the first down. That was Henry Hernandez on the carry for the Braves.
So yeah, I wonder if he carries. I wonder if he has a six shooter on his hip.
On his hip.
Yeah, and wears a hat. I would if I was. My last name was Earp.
You'd have
my
to.
great grandpa was Wyatt Earp.
Spurs. I'd have Spurs so people can hear me coming down the hall.
And I'd be mean to everybody. I'd learn how to play Pharaoh. You know what Pharaoh is?
No.
Pharaoh is the precursor to poker.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
That's what they did in the Old West?
I played Pharaoh.
There goes Richardson. On 1st and 10, got about 5 yards on that carry.
Hey, wasn't that from that movie, I'm Your Huckleberry? Wasn't that, that was Doc Holliday. Tombstone.
Come on, Jeff.
I'm gonna get, but Wyatt Earp was the star of Tombstone too, right? That was Kurt Russell.
Come on.
He played him. Kurt Russell played Wyatt Earp. All right.
That's right.
Yeah, Val Kilmer.
Yeah, Val Kilmer.
Yeah, they had 2 of those movies
Doc
come out at the
Holliday.
same time. One was the other guy, Quaid, Dennis Quaid. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The aerial circus going deep. And Dominic Johnson cannot connect on the other end. So a rare pass attempt by Norte Vista comes up empty with about 64 seconds on the clock.
Well, you know, the plan was we were gonna mic up Ken Batdorf for the game for one series, and he was gonna let me call 4 plays.
Oh,
or until we scored, because you know if I was calling it, we'd score.
We'd score first drive.
But he wouldn't let me do the flea flicker. He wouldn't let me do the Statue of Liberty.
What about the old hook and ladder?
The hook and ladder, or the sideline bounce pass, which I have not seen anyone do in years. You know, you throw the lateral on the bounce, and everybody thinks it's a dead ball, and you catch it and run.
I'd love to see that.
I'll bring it back. In fact, back in the day, before Ken Batdorf, there was a guy named Dub Dozier, who was a longtime football coach here at Norte Vista, from like 68 to 80 maybe. And then Jack Fogarty came in, but Dub Dozier would run the pass, the sideline bounce pass.
He would?
Once a game, and they would score because nobody knew what the heck was going on. They thought it was a dead ball, but it was a lateral pass, and they throw it right down the sideline, and the guy would catch it. If they didn't catch it, just go out of bounds.
And no harm, no foul, right?
No harm, no foul. It was a great play, though. I think Ken Batdorf should bring it back in honor of the great Dub Dozier, who was here a long time, just like Ken.
All right, 3rd and short for Norte Vista inside the final minute here in the opening frame. The toss out to Temple. Jeff, he did not get it.
He didn't get 18 yards of carry there.
Oh, and I think they're saying that
fumble.
Yeah, he might have coughed up the football. And did the Lions recover? Waiting for the official to signal. Yeah, and the white hat signals. Let's take another look. There was a lot of congestion there. Let's see what exactly went on. And that ball is
He got
out.
stripped?
Yeah, it's That ball was ajar before he hit the ground, and it's Linfield Christian with the football.
You said ajar.
Ajar.
Ajar. I haven't heard that in a while. Ajar. Last week, we were calling a game. Gazal and I forget where it was because we call so many games, and a guy just ripped it out of the hand of the running back. He just took it out and ran the other way for a touchdown.
Did you say ajar, or how did you
I
describe
didn't say it
that?
like that. I said he ripped it out of him. He took it. He took it like a hamburger, like a big old giant. You know, it's double cheeseburger day today.
It
Did
is?
you know that? Yeah.
No, I might celebrate after the game.
We're going to go to Baker's and get some double cheeseburgers, you and I, Pep.
There's Jet Blackshear on the carry for Linfield Christian, and that will likely be our final play here in the first quarter. See how quickly the Lions get back to the huddle.
The one good thing about, I shouldn't say it's good, but the one thing if you call a Norte Vista game,
Yeah.
you'll be home by 8:30.
I will get that double cheeseburger.
You will get that double cheeseburger. Pep, you and I we haven't called any games this year. It's our first time we've called a game.
Yeah, it's my first Riverside TV game. I'm fired up, man.
And think about this. You and I have been together for 7 years now, 7?
It's been a long time.
And
Before gloves.
You know, we have more hours than anybody I know together. I've spent more time with you in the last 7 years than I have my wife and children.
And it's mutual. Same here.
And I find you very attractive. Like you could almost be like I mean,
Significant other.
yeah, but yeah, not
My
that
broadcast partner.
You're my broadcast partner. I love working with you, Pep Fernandez.
You could make a case that we have more on-air hours, like broadcast
Than
time
anyone.
together than maybe anyone in sports broadcasting history in the IE.
By far.
I mean, we can't talk about the old Brenton Musburger and some of those guys.
No, but think about it. 5 days a week, 3+ hours a day.
That was a long time.
Oh man, I
ran out of words.
I did. Yeah, there's.
I get home
We
to
had to
my
start
family
over.
like I'm done. I'm out of words.
Yeah, we started that. You know, you were doing the weekend show, and then they said, "You want to go 5 days a week?" Sure.
Sounded like a good idea. Pass is complete. And a first down for Linfield Christian. And, Jeff, here we go. Kind of looked like the same thing in the first quarter with the Lions, stringing together, a couple completed passes, building up a drive. We'll see if Linfield Christian can continue this. Take another look. Aguilera, the quick release. Out to number 2, Grant Taylor on the reception. First and 10 for Linfield Christian from the 41 of the Braves. We've got a flag on the far side of the field near the Linfield Christian sideline.
I wonder what the call. Oh, it's a warning flag. I get this will not be a penalty. It'll be a warning. Let's see. Telling those guys this, you got to back up. You got to move move back 3 feet. Hey, there you go.
There you go. You're exactly right.
They were just being a nice warning.
All right, so here we go again. First down for the Lions. A man in motion. That's Dylan Kane. And they throw it to Kane across the 40, the 35, the 30. Kane's got a first down and finally pushed across the sideline or about the 25-yard line. That's going to be a first down for Linfield Christian. So here we go.
Well, you watch the play. I mean, the two defenders went into a man-to-man. Then they threw it in the flat. And a great play call here by Coach Burns is they were blocking the two man-to-man defenders. That's how they were able to get that first down. Big-time play there.
You've heard of a sandwich artist.
I have heard of the sandwich.
I know you have.
I
know you have.
I know sandwiches very well.
But Deshaun Burns, a play artist, right? A play-calling artist. That was a nice play there by Linfield Christian. And, again, going back to the fact that Ken Batdorf knew that he was going to see some creative looks from Coach Burns tonight. Aguilera completes the pass. Up the far sideline to Thomas Pascal. And another first down for the Lions. Pascal leads the team in receptions this season with 15. He's got a couple touchdowns as well. It's the first time we've said his name tonight. His first catch as we take another look. Aguilera. Aguilera's very good on the run. Like when he just drops back with a clean pocket, not much doing. But when he feels a little bit of pressure, starts rolling out and,
He's like Patrick Mahomes last night.
Kind of, right?
Quick release. That's the one thing I've noticed in high school football the last 5 years is the quickness of getting rid of the ball has changed so much. And there it is, another example of that. Getting rid of it quickly.
Aguilera to Kane.
And a flag comes in here.
got a couple of yards on the play if this stands. Seven-zip Norte Vista after that first quarter touchdown by Sola. It's going to be against the Lions, pushing Linfield Christian back. Aguilera completing the pass. Now we're going to be looking at second down for Linfield Christian with 9:18 and counting here in the second quarter. And Aguilera handed that ball off just in the nick of time. Jed Blackshear getting smashed. Tackle for a loss. Take another look. Just hands it off to Blackshear just in time. Aguilera got the worst of it. And a couple Braves, including Iosefa in the neighborhood. Second and 20 for Linfield Christian. Rolling to his left, across his body, Aguilera completes the pass. He's got his guy Dylan Kane again. And that's going to spot the Lions at the 9-yard line. They can still pick up another first down here. Aguilera talking with Coach Burns along the sideline here, trying to capitalize on this great drive, great time-consuming drive. And, Jeff, look at that sunset back here.
It's beautiful.
Just beyond the stadium in Riverside, man, with the palm trees. That is like picture-perfect Southern California.
Hashtag I love Riverside.
That's it.
That's what the kids are all saying these
On the
days.
gram.
On the gram?
On the gram. Blackshear stopped around the 10-yard line. Might have lost a yard on the play. And, Jeff, fourth down coming up for Linfield Christian.
Got to get some points here. Let's see if they're going to bring out the kicking team.
And it looks like they are lined up to kick.
Yeah, look at that. There's that view. Beautiful view.
Hashtag I love Riverside. And the kick is up. And it is good, so the Lions come away with points as Jeremy Maloney splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-3 ball game with 7:14 on the clock here in the second quarter. So Linfield Christian marching down the field, coming away with some points. So it's 7-3 here at Norte Vista High School, but here's a live look over at Ram High. Ramona taking on Riverside Poly, also live on Riverside TV, so you can go back and forth between the two games if you'd like, or better yet, have two laptops open or two iPhones, have them going at the same time as the Rams are leading the Bears by a score of 8-zip in the second quarter.
Wow, close game.
The Solar Series, this is a big game.
Oh, that's right. That is called the Solar Series.
Yeah.
It's been around since the beginning of time.
Before gloves.
That's
my barometer now. Like
before gloves?
There's gloves. Before gloves or after
'em.
gloves. But yes, both games live tonight on Riverside TV.
And we have another flex game next week. In fact, we're going to
Can you announce that?
I think we're going to announce it in the third quarter.
Ooh.
So
I'm going to stick around for that.
You have to stick around, Pep, because we have a new winner and another game next week as the flex games continue.
I like it. Let the fans have a voice, right? Little squib kick by the Lions. Picked up by Sola. Sola taken to the right, cuts up the middle. Sola still on his feet across the 35. Plunging his way for a couple more yards. And Norte Vista on that good return by Sola will start off at the 38-yard line.
Fave Sola.
I like Fave Sola.
I like saying his name, for one, but wide receiver, quarterback, 6'1", 200 pounds, just a junior.
Scored the only touchdown in this game so far. Sola waiting to pick that ball up at the last moment. Had a lot of Lions in pursuit. Nice move back up the field, and big hit there at the end to get a couple more yards on the end of that return. Nice return by Sola. Oh, but I didn't see the flag, but there must have been a flag because they were pushing the Braves way back.
Way back. Must have been a...
I was looking at the replay. 7:05 on the clock. Jeff, who do you keep waving at?
I'm waving at my friend, Keala Hughes, who is the ASB director here at Norte Vista. He has had some health issues, and this is the first time I've seen him. He looks amazing.
Nice run by Richardson.
He was my assistant coach, and he was the women's basketball coach here and at La Sierra. But one of my closest friends in the world. It's good to see him back on his feet. He was in the hospital for a few months.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's looking like Tom Selleck. He's skinny.
Oh.
He's Hawaiian, and he is dang good looking. I'm happy to see him back on his feet.
Back on homecoming.
Yeah, look at how skinny. He looks great down there by the 45-yard line there. And Cal. Remember, he was my assistant coach.
Oh, yeah. No, I know who he is.
Yeah.
I remember he was very helpful when Freddie Holly had his big signing day ceremony
Yes,
on campus here at Norte
wonderful
Vista.
guy.
And this time, it's going to be number 17, Eli Martinez for the Braves. So early on here in this game, Jeff, we've seen Sola and we've seen Martinez. Of course, we're going to see Richardson. Of course, we're going to see Temple.
I want to see.
He's using a bunch of different running backs.
I want to see the young fella. There's another Elaine train.
There is.
There is.
I saw the grandpa. He said, one more. We got one more kid coming through the program.
5'9", 160-pound running back, defensive back. Dreddy Elaine.
Dreddy.
I dread to see what he's going to be like. He's going to be like his brothers. He'll be great.
Handoff by the sheer size of that running back. I couldn't see the number, but I'm going to bet that was Iosefa. There's not a lot of guys that look like him out there.
No.
Yeah, he is a big fella. In fact, we had some highlights from Norte Vista's big win on the road out in the desert against Rancho Mirage last week.
That's right.
And in those highlights, Iosefa was carrying about 4 different players from Rancho Mirage into the end zone because they were not going to bring him down.
Well, if you see him without his helmet on, by the way, was beautiful hair. Absolutely.
What do
beautiful.
you know about beautiful hair?
All I know is he walks around and he's got long hair, and from behind I go, man, look at that hair. It's so healthy looking. And all I can do is dream about hair.
Did you ever have long hair? When you had hair, did you have long hair?
No, I wasn't allowed to. It's short.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not going to happen. Stop it.
Sola rolling out to his right. Tucks it down, heads towards the sidelines, and a nice pickup here for Sola. So after that big penalty that pushed the Braves back towards their own end zone, they're making all that up. First down here for Norte Vista.
Yeah, one of these quarterbacks was the quarterback for Ken, was the quarterback last year for Arlington High School, who ended up winning the CIF championship and went on to the state. Was it the state championship?
Yeah, they went to the state finals.
Yeah, state finals.
Yeah, they won the CIF. Arlington won a CIF Southern Section championship, a Southern California regional title, and all the way to the state finals. I can't remember the team they played up in Northern California right now. Was it Salesian?
Salesian, yes.
In Richmond, I want to say.
Believe you're right.
Salesian Prep in Richmond.
But let's think about Riverside football last year. 6 teams made the playoffs.
Yeah.
6 teams won 1 game. That's a pretty impressive stat.
Yeah.
We had CSDR, California School for the Deaf, which you will be on the call with. You'll be there next week. Next week.
Next Saturday.
Saturday, 4 p.m. start. Riverside TV will have it. CSDR versus, I believe, a school from Florida. Florida School for the Deaf. So what a great way to spend a Saturday afternoon. We know the fans go out and watch them. Mm-hmm. And, hey, they even had the quarterback of the Rams, the great Kurt Warner, came out and spoke to those guys.
I saw that. It was on social media.
I just saw that Kurt Warner movie. Have you seen that movie?
No, did you?
Oh, I loved it. My kids loved it. My 6-year-old wants to be Kurt Warner, for gosh sakes.
Yeah, he was a good one. That's for sure. The toss to Richardson right up the middle, still on his feet. Richardson moving that pile across the marker for another Norte Vista first down and into Lion territory. Great run by Richardson. Looks like Deshaun Burns wants a timeout on the Linfield Christian side.
Well, while we are here, let's talk a little bit about do not walk on the track. And we're going to Do you know that September is Rail Safety Month, and California leads the nation in railroad trespass fatalities? In fact, in 2021, there was 243 trespass fatalities. We can all help reduce trespass-related incidents. That means no biking or walking near tracks. Only cross railroad tracks at designated crossings. So do your part. See the tracks and think train.
Better to play it safe, right? Make it home safely.
Yeah, I try never to walk near any kind of train tracks. When I was a kid, though, they used to take pennies and put them on the train tracks, and then they'd run away, and you'd go back and find them, and they would be flat. They'd be flattened pennies. I don't think you should do that anymore.
No.
In fact, I'm telling you, do not do this.
There's your public service announcement from Mr. Safety, Jeff Gorham.
The big Jeezy.
Another run by the Braves.
Somebody called me the
Another 5
mayor
yards.
yesterday.
I think it was me, wasn't it?
It was in some
Was it
circles.
somebody- in some circles, they call you the mayor. That is a fact.
Yeah, it was great to everywhere we go, though, people are watching the coach's perspective. They're watching the Inland Sports Show. They're watching us tonight. We're doing big things here in the city of Riverside.
Well, we've got some good football this year.
Great football.
I think it's a carryover from last year. An update from Ramona High School. Now 15-zip Rams on top of Riverside Poly. The handoff to Richardson. Another first down. Richardson still on his feet, Jeff. He's being held up, I think, by his lineman, still going across the 20. And that is a massive pick by Demarion Richardson. And I think got a little help from his lineman tracking him downfield, just trying to keep him on his feet. And it paid off. Big run by Richardson.
Richardson, we've called his name quite a bit. Great to see our guy, Kayala Hughes, here up in the booth.
Yeah, you were waving at him, and you called him up.
I called him up. My director, one of my closest friends in the entire world, he's never looked better. And I'm telling you now, Tom Selleck, Mr. Hawaii himself.
He disagreed. He nodded, yep.
Yeah,
that's me. Another big run by Norte Vista. Down to about the 10-yard line. That's going to be pretty close to that first down marker. Hard to see who was in that pile on the carry. I believe it was Richardson, number 21 for the Braves. They list him at 5'7", 170 pounds. He's got a bulk of the carries on the season, but Brian Temple has really emerged as an option there. Io Seifa, short yardage near the goal line. He's definitely an option.
We've had a few Io Seifas come out of Norte Vista High School.
Second and short. The handoff to Richardson. Good enough for a first down. It's a first and goal for Norte Vista from the 6-yard line now.
In fact, Io Seifa, didn't he play at Redlands?
The University of Redlands.
University of Redlands had a pretty nice career there. New coach at Redlands, too, this year. Is it a second-year coach?
It's Jim Good. So he was the longtime assistant, like associate head coach to Mike Maynard. But I know he and Joey Mariani, I think you know Coach Mariani as well.
Coach Mariani.
They recruit Riverside hard. Like, they love coming and visiting the Riverside schools because there's so much talent here. So the University of Redlands really, really likes Norte Vista. They really like the schools here in the city of Riverside. Richardson, the carry, stopped just a little bit short.
I see Coach Mariani all over the place. I see him at every high school I go to. He'll make his way over. When he comes here to Norte Vista, he'll wander over and say, he asks for me. We sit and talk. Great guy.
Yeah, and he's got some Norte Vista guys over there at the University of Redlands. I think they got what did Stanton Manu Maleuna go there?
Stanton went to Cal Poly.
But didn't he come back to
Yes,
U of R?
He did. He did. He was there for 2 years and transferred down here.
I thought there was a couple Novi guys at the U of R. They might have since graduated, but in the last 4 or 5 years there has been.
They had Hector Becerra was over there for a while.
Oh, yeah, Becerra, yeah.
So they've had some guys. In fact, Norte Vista, we were calling a game at Ramona as RCC played San Jacinto, and there were a couple of Norte Vista kids. Haseen Marone, who was the MVP, defensive MVP of the River Valley League. And they had Isaac Gaines also playing.
So Isaac.
There's a live look in.
Oh, it looks like Ramona probably just scored a touchdown in for the extra point here with 1:23 to go before halftime. I got to be honest. I'm surprised they're closer to halftime than we are, but they started early. Remember that?
They cheated.
They cheated. They started a couple minutes early. I thought for sure with the run-heavy Braves that we would get to halftime before them, but looks like Ramona building that comfortable lead in the first half against the rival Bears. Richardson right up the middle for another Norte Vista touchdown, and it's now 13-3 Braves on top with the extra point on the way. I really like Richardson. He got a lot of those carries on that drive. You know, I feel like if you did the work,
you deserve it.
Let him get paid, right? He's at the goal line. Let him get paid. Let him punch one in, and he goes in for a touchdown there for Richardson. Touchdown number 4 on the season for him. So that lead back up to 10 here for Norte Vista, trying to tack on the extra point or two. Sola in at quarterback for the Braves as they line up for the 2-point conversion. Fake handoff, Sola rolling to his right, the aerial circus towards the corner, and it is caught. The 2-point conversion is good, and it is Sola to, well, Jeff, naturally the other quarterback, Dominic Johnson, quarterback to quarterback on the 2-point conversion.
And I'll tell you what, watching the play kind of evolve, I thought the guy on the right side was wide open. He decides to throw it to the single guarded, perfectly thrown pass over the shoulder. Great catch there.
That's why we're up here, and Coach, Batdorf is down there. Take another look. 2-point conversion here. Sola fakes the handoff to. Oh, that was Richardson going in for the touchdown there. So that would put him up with the touchdown, 13-3. And then 2-point conversions. Sola fakes the handoff, airs it out towards the corner, and that's actually a really great catch by Johnson. He had a man all over him. Still came down with the football on the 2-point, and now it's 15-3. Novi on top with 92 seconds to go.
Do you know what happened in that play?
Mm-mm.
All of the planets in the solar system aligned perfectly, and they was that's. I mean, it was, if he'd have thrown it any other time, it never got to him.
It lined up perfectly. Nice return for the Lions across the 35. That was number 26 for Linfield Christian on the return, Greg Toth. As we mentioned, Linfield Christian at 1-3 on the season. So, Jeff, I know this is kind of a dangerous road to go down when you say, okay, well, this team beat this team, and then they did this to this team,
yes.
So this team should beat this team. So Linfield Christian lost pretty considerably to Tockwitz. And then last night we saw Tockwitz win in the last seconds against Hillcrest. So that Hillcrest versus Novi game, if this score stands up, should be close.
It should be.
Right?
I mean, it's what, everybody talks, I hear all the chatter. People send me texts, hey, I wish we could play this team. I wish we could play that team. Last year, it was North wanted to play Ramona. They never met. Those were the two best teams. Now, King wants to play Ramona.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen. They seem to miss every year these big games.
Pass complete for Aguilera. Lions on the move. There's another completion. That one going to Grant Taylor. Another first down and out of bounds. That's going to stop the clock with 1:11, Jeff.
And talking about the River Valley League this year, it's kind of wide open. Everybody expects Ramona, and I think Ramona is right now the best team in the city of Riverside. But Hillcrest, Travis Carter does a great job over there. In fact, he played for Mush over at King. He was the quarterback. But I think the River Valley League, top to bottom, is going to be pretty darn good this year. Las Sierras won 2 games so far.
Including last night against Bolsa Grande. I think
won 39-0.
Yeah. Uh-oh, bad snap over the head of Aguilera. He's going to fall on the football, and that might negate what the Lions had going on. They had a couple first downs and looked like they might get some more points before halftime, but that's going to push it back to midfield.
Yeah, had some nice momentum going, but, just a bad snap. And that's really what's cost the Lions the lion's share of their points tonight, because they've dropped, the kick, they dropped the punt, and a couple miscues.
You can't be your own worst enemy against a strong Norte Vista side, well coached by Coach Batdorf, of course. Aguilera steps up in the pocket, lets it fly. He's got a man sliding and making the catch is Dylan Kane on the far sideline. I should tell everyone out there, if you're watching, coming up at halftime, we're going to have a special presentation with Coach Batdorf, so you do not want to miss the halftime.
You don't, Coach Batdorf. I talk a lot of smack about the guy, but I will say it's one of my closest friends. You know that. And Well-deserved of 29 years of being here at Norte Vista. Couldn't be happier for the man.
Nice catch by Kane, sliding, making that catch, and getting out of bounds with 30 seconds on the clock. Aguilera, another completion. This one going, I think it was number 44 on the far side, Marcus Deichel. So Ramona's up 22-0 on Riverside Poly at halftime, and that is a game on Riverside TV. So, Jeff, I like to follow the live chat.
You do?
So I want to give a shout-out to Curly Fries. That's his name, Curly Fries. He says, put the Ramona game on. Well, guess what? It is on. So just find it here on the YouTube channel, and you can watch Ramona versus Riverside Poly as well. Like I said, I encourage you to have 2 laptops open or bounce back and forth. And a timeout called with 12 seconds to go. I think Linfield Christian's thinking they might get some points here before the break. Aguilera, another completion.
Aguilera is really fun to watch.
He sure is.
He's an escape artist, but makes very sound decisions, like you said, under pressure. Yeah, what else are they talking about on the YouTube?
Well, your boy Nick Gomez just wrote, low-key, best announcers in Riverside.
Hey, we're the only.
Ho!
Hey, good job. Hey, good job, buddy.
Congratulations.
What is the low key and high key? Do you understand that? You have daughters, and see, my son, he's a brooding,
Surfer
16-year-old
guy.
Yeah, he doesn't want. He's all he wants to talk about is the waves, and my other ones are too little to even know what that means. But what is low key and high key? Does that mean cool? Is that good?
How would I? Oh, it's good.
It's good.
It's good. Low key just means like like I'm not gonna make a big deal about it, but low key, like.
So if I go around and say, hey, low key. I don't know how to. I wouldn't know how to say it though.
All right, this is important right here. 11 seconds before halftime. Linfield Christian with the football at the 20-yard line, so they might come away with some points here if the Lions play it correctly. Aguilera, dirty pocket, rolls out to his left. He felt that pressure going towards the end zone. That was a great grab by Grant Taylor. Was he in? They are waving it off. Oh, my goodness. We've got great camera guys. I know Patrick is somewhere down on that sideline for Riverside TV. We got to take another look. It was close. It was really close,
We need to see the feet. We have there's our guys, our umpires, and our referees tonight.
Steve Pollard, Tim Burrows, Matt Burrows, Leonte Scott, and Quinn Sanders.
Here it is. Let's take a quick look at the feet. Let's see the feet.
Aguilera to Taylor. Oh, that's really close.
Ooh.
All right, 2 seconds left, and Jeff, they're going to go for a field goal here. It looks like it's about 36-yard field goal.
Yes.
It's up, and that one, man, it probably would have been good from. Oh, he missed. It looked like.
I thought he had long enough.
It was long enough.
Just a bit.
Just off the mark. So here at halftime, it is 15-3. Norte Vista on top of Linfield Christian. So a touchdown by Sola and one by Richardson, the difference so far in this contest. Now, Jeff, a little bit earlier in the pregame, we had a chance to catch up with head coach Ken Batdorf, and 2 weeks ago it was a monumental win for old Coach Batdorf. I know you've known him for a long, long time, but he picked up a milestone win, didn't he?
Hey, he did. And 200 wins, that's an incredible feat. And talking to all the coaches, one place for 29 years. That I think in itself is the better stat more than the wins, because you've coached kids for almost 30 years. He's a great teacher. He's a great father. I should say this. He's a great father. He's a great husband. He is a phenomenal teacher and a great coach.
Well, we had a chance to talk to Coach Batdorf, again, in the pregame show, right, as the teams were warming up. And it was a little bit of a surprise. We had a chance to present him with something pretty cool with his wife and daughter in attendance.
Beautiful baby Brooke Batdorf.
Let's check it out.
All right, well, it was a historic win about 2 weeks ago for Norte Vista head coach Ken Batdorf, hitting a milestone, 200 career victories. And Coach Batdorf, that is a big number.
Well, it is, but I've been truly blessed with great kids and great coaches. And I've been here for a long time, and I've had great friends, and it's just a true blessing for me.
All right, Jeff, I think we have a special guest or two, right?
We have Mrs. Batdorf and baby Brooke Batdorf. Come on over here for us. And we would like to give you this lovely plaque. Come on over, Brooke. and Mrs. Batdorf. Congratulations on 200 wins. Another 29 years, Coach, and you might get 400.
I'm better off with my weight being at 400 than 400 wins. But then again, you're only about 5 pounds away. So, you know what? Again, thank you guys very much. I'm truly blessed. I got a great family. My wife's awesome. My daughter's great. I'm just truly blessed.
All right, that is head coach Ken Batdorf, 200 career wins and counting. We'll be back with more here on Riverside TV.
California leads the nation in railroad trespass-related fatalities. In 2021, there were 243 trespass casualties in California. Trespassing is one of the most challenging safety issues plaguing California's railroad corridors. In Riverside County alone, there were 19 trespass-related casualties last year. But the positive news is those numbers have dropped over the years because of the efforts of California Operation Lifesaver and partnering agencies like RCTC and Metrolink. We can all help reduce trespass-related incidents even further if we never trespass on railroad property for any reason. That means no biking or walking near tracks. Railroad property is private property. The only safe place to cross train tracks is at a designated crossing. September is Rail Safety Month, so please do your part. And whenever you see tracks, always think train. And stay off, stay away, stay safe. California leads the nation in railroad trespass-related fatalities. In 2021, there were 243 trespass casualties in California. Trespassing is one of the most challenging safety issues plaguing California's railroad corridors. In Riverside County alone, there were 19 trespass-related casualties last year. But the positive news is those numbers have dropped over the years because of the efforts of California Operation Lifesaver and partnering agencies like RCTC and Metrolink. We can all help reduce trespass-related incidents even further if we never trespass on railroad property for any reason. That means no biking or walking near tracks. Railroad property is private property. The only safe place to cross train tracks is at a designated crossing. September is Rail Safety Month, so please do your part. And whenever you see tracks, always think train. And stay off, stay away, stay safe.
It's time for a revolution. I'm Cheech Marin, and we're inviting you to reserve your spot for the inaugural showing of Cheech Collects. So get your tickets today. We're looking for you.
Live local. Help support your favorite businesses with the Shop Riverside Community Card. With over 200 Riverside businesses giving exclusive discounts and offers to community card holders, there's something for everyone. Participating organizations sell these cards for only $15 each, with $10 going straight back to the organization itself, making the Shop Riverside Community Card a fantastic way to support your favorite local group. For more information about the Shop Riverside Community Card and to find participating businesses, please visit shopriversidenow.com. And don't forget to live local. Shop Riverside.
High school sports are one of the things that make living in California so great.
But sometimes the behavior in the stands can overshadow our achievements on the field.
I love it when my parents show up for me.
But being booed for missing a play could be crushing.
And remember that refs are people too.
They're trying their best to call a fair and correct game.
Hey, and enough with all the swearing.
No one should feel insulted or ashamed
because of their race, ethnicity, or gender.
We should be able to hold our heads high after the match, win or lose.
Well, it all started basically with my son, Joshua Unger. He's severely autistic. He was aging out of the school district, and this was about when he was around 18, but the school district keeps you till you're 22. We're sitting at home one day and we're talking about, well, what are we going to do once he actually is out of the school district? And we thought about it really hard, and at that time we were doing some backyard gardening. And my son was very responsive to it. He enjoyed going out and planting the seeds and being in the soil and, harvesting the lettuce and going and, getting the carrots and the onions, and, he likes to cook too. And we thought, well, hey, what if we actually had some property to where we could have like a small farm that sells vegetables, and we can make a program where we can bring in others, a work program for people with these different disabilities. Ultimately, what we decided to do was just start looking in the Inland Empire area for a piece of property that would work for that. And, we found the Greenbelt. We try to implement as much organic material in the soil as possible. We're not using any pesticides or herbicides. We, have barn owl boxes. We have little birds' nests that we're planting so that they'll eat some of the bugs, and we also encourage predator bugs, like ladybugs. Our operation is at that point where we're turning a corner. With the high tunnels going up, we're going to be planting tomatoes in there. There's a lot of little things to maintain with tomatoes. We're kind of transitioning from a point where we were just focused on this small little corner of the property, kind of educating me. And then now that we have some systems in place that I feel are successful, we're going to expand that across the center part of the farm here, and we're going to be putting in a little farm stand that we can sell some of these vegetables with, and that will provide additional tasks for the workers with disabilities to fulfill. One of the ways that we reach out to people is on Facebook, and it's Gable Farms. Just Gable Farms, and you can search it in Riverside, and that's an easy way to find us.
My daughter had an issue at school where another student on her campus, specifically in her class, said some derogatory things about people of color, specifically black people. Although Riverside is a great place to live, it has shadows and it has corners where hate lives. As a result of that, my daughter was hurt that day, and we needed to put a voice to it. A friend of mine, she reached out to me and she said, Rochelle, I can't sit by and know that this happened to Edison and not do something.
We had a conversation about the racism that her daughter Edison had experienced at her school and how that felt to her. We felt like we needed to do something and to say something. And so we talked about the representation of black figures in Riverside and how there was a lack of representation. We talked about inclusion and respect and what that looked like. And we talked about creating an art piece.
It was after the murals that we had up on the Fox Performing Arts Center, as well as the John Lewis mural at the Civil Rights Institute. And so when this concept came to us at the City of Riverside, it felt a way that we could support our artist community, because we are the City of Arts and Innovation, but it was also in an easy, beautiful way, a statement that we promote, we respect, and we want diversity, equity, and inclusion in all things we do.
I myself am a mosaic artist, and so I talked to Rochelle about the possibility of us creating an art piece, and she loved that idea. And soon Shay Tracy, who is also an educator, so we three teachers, we started out on this endeavor to create this piece together and enlisted 14 artists to create the piece that you see here today.
As at that time, there was so much happening in the culture, in the world, surrounding Black Lives Matter, and some of the protests in terms of the police brutality that was happening, that I just felt I needed to do something as a model to boys. Each individual person, they worked on their own sketch of the artist, and they put the tiles together at their own home studio, and then towards the end, we collected the materials in waves, and then we kind of just put it all together a few weeks before the reveal. I want them to feel the love and intentionality that we put into the mural. I wanted to awaken a curiosity about all of the people who we included in the mural, and to just get people to understand and to have more interest in Black history and in these contributing members.
As the City of Arts and Innovation, this was a really beautiful step towards including art pieces that are public and that are representative of everyone.
For the community, I hope that it shows that in being authentic and real and transparent and sharing our stories, great things can come out of it.
Welcome to In the Vault, a program of the Museum of Riverside. Today I'm going to share a little bit about the museum's herbarium, which is a collection of plant specimens, and a herbarium can be either dry or wet specimens, but mostly dry specimens, and that's what we have quite a bit of. It began with the early curator of botanic collections, Edmund Yeager, who started collecting specimens in the Riverside and San Bernardino area in the 1920s. Many of these specimens that he collected eventually wound up in our collection. But the real turning point was in 1949 when Charles and Wilhelmina Clark donated their collection, the Clark Herbarium, along with an endowment for the care of the collection and for botanical programs. And we've pulled out today just a couple of specimens, just a few specimens from the Clark Herbarium that are examples of Nevins barberry, which is an endangered species in our area, and you actually can acquire cultivated specimens of this plant from nurseries, but in the few areas where it grows naturally, it's under threat and has been added to the endangered species list. Now, this is how dried herbarium specimens are stored and collected. A herbarium specimen is of little use to us unless it comes with its collection data. So all this information is here, collected on a certain date in a certain location by a certain collector. And then the specimens are dried under certain conditions so that they don't attract mold, mildew, or other forces that can disintegrate them. Because they're dried, of course, they're very fragile, and we have to keep them in short stacks in carefully controlled environmental conditions. And you might wonder why we would have more than one example of the same species. And there's a reason for that, several reasons actually. First of all, comparing different examples of the same species can give information to researchers. And comparing specimens that have been collected over time can give researchers information about changing environmental conditions. And in the context of much research that's done today, for instance, climate change, we can learn much about how and where specimens were collected and what has happened to their morphology over time. It's also useful to have different specimen examples for genetic research, which is done today. Again, it was something that was, at the time these things were collected, no one even conceived of the kind of genetic research that would be done today. And now we have some of these specimens, which, of course, because they're in essence insect food, we have to keep very close watch on them to make sure no infestations get into our storage vault here. These cabinets behind me are the cabinets where we store the herbarium specimens, and they have to be inspected often to make sure that we have no problems. To go back to the Clark Herbarium, that portion of the Museum of Riverside's herbarium comprises about 10,000 specimens. Additional collectors, other collectors, John C. Roos, for instance, actually this one was collected by John C. Roos, have added to the herbarium and make it a reference point with almost a century's trajectory that allows it to be a tremendous resource for researchers who are interested in Southern California, particularly the inland Southern California plant community. We have a new incoming lot of specimens coming into the herbarium soon. We do continue to actively collect, and again, for some of those scientific reasons that might not necessarily have been anticipated at the time that earlier examples of some of the species were collected. So for instance, a researcher has recently gone out to some of the areas in Central and Southern California that are fire damaged and collecting plant specimens that are coming back after those fires so that we can study the kind of plant communities that thrive in those post-fire environments. Again, we cannot possibly imagine what kind of research may be done in the future that would make these specimens of great use to a scientist. And I should add as well, as my background is the fine arts, that there's a resurgence of interest among artists in looking at these kinds of collections and just seeing the visual beauty of them and seeing how the visual impact of a specimen can be translated into an aesthetic experience and to help connect people with nature in a way that is very vital right now. So again, thank you for joining us for this segment of In the Vault, and we do encourage you, particularly if you're a researcher, to contact us and arrange to have access to the herbarium collection. Thank you.
High school sports are one of the things that make living in California so great.
Athletics builds character, teamwork, physical fitness,
And shows what hard work can achieve.
And some of us can even earn a college scholarship or qualify for the Olympics.
But sometimes the behavior in the stands can overshadow our achievements on the field.
I love it when my parents show up for me.
But being booed for missing a play could be crushing.
Parents who lose their minds when we don't score aren't helping.
It can actually be super distracting. We should be able to hold our heads high after the match, win or lose.
And remember that refs are people too.
They're trying their best to call a fair and correct game.
Even if you may not love the call.
Seeing and hearing people, belligerently be mean to you, it makes you not want to play anymore. It makes you just want to go sit on the sidelines and cry. Like, it's not fun.
No one should feel insulted or ashamed
because of their race, ethnicity, or gender.
Hey, and enough with all the swearing.
Anger has no place here.
Thank you for being part of the change, and thank you for being there to lift us up.
Welcome to In the Vault, a feature of the Museum of Riverside. Today we're going to be talking about something fun and games actually. The museum has quite a large collection of games dating back to the 19th century. A small selection of them will be featured in a new exhibition at Heritage House to open in early September of 2022. One of the games we're going to include is this one, which we discovered recently in our collection storage vault. We looked up its records, and the records weren't particularly illuminating as to what it was, and none of us recognized what it was. So while we did some research and pondered a bit, we still didn't turn up any information. But we were fortunate to have some good luck in the form of putting out some images and information about this piece to an international network of game collectors and game historians. Luckily, very quickly, we got an answer back from a collector in Germany who informed us that it's a whist counter, that's W-H-I-S-T, which is a card game related to bridge, which was played quite frequently in the 18th and 19th centuries. You may imagine gentlemen and gentlemen's clubs in London playing whist in the 19th century. It's often referred to in novels, for instance, by Anthony Trollope. But today, the game is not played so very often. And there are other games in the collection that we'll be including that, again, are not played so very often, but that's a pity because many of them
Halftime here at Norda Vista, 15-3, Braves on top as we look at some highlights from the first half. And Linfield Christian, Jeff, just could not get out of their own way on that punt. They botch it. That would set up the Braves' first touchdown of the game. Fave Sola rolling out to the left on 4th down and punches it in. 7-zip Norda Vista at that point. Linfield Christian got some things going through the air, but that Novi defense has kept him on the run all night long. Aguilera dumping this pass off this time to Dylan Kane. Lions, Jeff, they strung together some passes. They had some nice drives, but they've only got 3 points to show for it right now at halftime.
And I'll tell you what, that Aguilera is a fantastic athlete. We've seen him, out of the pocket. He's better outside the pocket. He's been phenomenal, but they just, like you said, they've been their worst enemy.
Richardson with the second Novi touchdown, and then 2-point conversion, which we absolutely fell in love with. Sola going to the other Novi quarterback, Dominic Johnson, on the 2-pointer. Made it 15-3. The Lions were hoping to get some points before halftime, and that one they said he was out of bounds, did not get his foot in. It was very, very close. Good job by our Riverside TV team to capture that moment by Grant Taylor. But no touchdown there for the Lions. So 15-3 here at halftime, and we are ready to go. The Braves are on the field. And the Lions are out there on their sideline, too. We'll get going in just a moment here. But it was homecoming, man. They had all the festivities, Jeff. We had all kinds of stuff going on down on the field.
Did they have a homecoming queen and king and all that stuff? I missed it. I was hanging out with some dear friends here that I ran into. Saw Coach Mark Reckenwald.
Well, I know people can't see us up here in the booth, but during the entire game, Jeff is literally every minute waving to people. People are like, "Oh, Big Jeezy, how's it going?" So you're constantly waving to people down in the stands.
Oh, it's great, though. It's nice to, it's the best part about working for the city of Riverside is working these games, and seeing all the other people that support high school sports and high school football, and the thanks we get, it's really phenomenal. And like I said, hashtag I love Riverside. What else did I say? Low key, hashtag. Low key, hashtag I love Riverside.
High school football is a big deal, any way you slice it. Here we go with the second half. Linfield Christian will be kicking off to Norda Vista. Going left to right on your television set. Scooped up. Haven't seen a number yet. I think that's Brian Temple on the return. Let's see. And it was Brian Temple on the return for the Braves, and that's how we crack open the second half.
Now, is Temple the kid you said they couldn't catch? Who was the kid that couldn't catch?
Coach Ken Batdorf said they had him at receiver.
And he couldn't catch the football.
He was a great football player, but just struggled to catch the football. So one of his assistant coaches said, hey, maybe we should just have him run the football. And it turned out to be a pretty great idea. So Ken Batdorf, giving him all the credit in the world for that.
So instead of playing catch, they were playing throw.
Yeah.
Just throw and then grab it and throw it back.
Put it right there in the breadbasket. Let him go. Little bunched formation here. Richardson up the middle. Looking to go second level, but for the Lions, it was Matthew Bick, one of their leading tacklers on the season, getting there just in time. It looked like Richardson might pop off a long run. Look at it again. Right between the tackles, and
he grabbed that little towel behind him. I don't understand. See, and then they have these guys, their T-shirt hangs out the bottom. Yeah. You got to tuck that in. That's how people get tackled.
You're right.
Tuck it in.
Don't give them more to grab.
No, you just tuck that shirt in, buddy.
Norda Vista football, hand off to Richardson up the middle. First down, Norda Vista to about the 35 of the Lions. So just like that, we're barely a minute into the second half, and the Braves are marching down the field on Linfield Christian.
Yeah, there's that double tight formation we love from Ken Batdorf. In fact, Coach Kevin Argamosa last year was when he got the job at Arlington. Remember, he got the job right before the season started. He was throwing the football, and then they started 0-7. Then he called up old Kenny B and said, hey, what are you doing over there? And Ken Batdorf gave him a little bit of info, and they went on to win a CIF championship.
The rest is history. The toss out to Temple around the left side, across the 30. There he goes, down the sideline. Temple inside the 5 and in for the touchdown. Brian Temple takes it in for Norda Vista's third touchdown of the night.
Great job by Brian Temple. Again, why throw the ball to him when he just hand it to him? At that time, it was the toss. And Temple hitting that sideline. And low-key, he is fast.
Low-key fast, and he actually caught it. I was surprised. They didn't play throw. Look at the camera angle right there.
It's going to come right at us. What are the odds it hits the camera?
It hit a couple of years ago. It nailed our camera.
Was it a La Sierra game?
Weren't you and I on that game?
I feel like I was. Yeah, it was La Sierra.
So we charged La Sierra $8,000.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, they didn't.
Oh, nothing doing there. Nothing doing on the extra point attempt, and it remains 21-3 after the Temple touchdown here for Norda Vista. Take another look. Oh, it looked like the snap. The holder could not put it down in time, and the Lions were there to pounce on it.
Why didn't they throw? They go for two again. That was the pass of the decade for Ken Batdorf.
On that 2-point conversion?
Yeah.
He has definitely already thrown the football or attempted to throw the football more times tonight than I think I've seen in any previous game.
It's because we're on TV. He wants to be Air Coryell.
Yeah. He's hoping Ken Mashinsky and Ramon is watching this. They're going to be like, so Norda Vista is a passing team now. That's how we need to prepare for Norda Vista.
Right. But how good a game is that going to be?
Oh,
Remember last
I'm
year?
salivating over that one.
Oh, look at he pushed the ball, and now the ball is sideways. This is unorthodox, Pep. You're a soccer guy. Is that normal?
No. Little onside kick action. Linfield Christian not buying it.
I don't know about that.
As number 23 on for the Lions, DJ Kerr.
Okay, do we have the special teams coach for Norda Vista? We're going to have to get on him about that call right there.
You don't like it?
No, I'm sorry. No offense.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They list 8 assistant coaches.
Let's blame it. I'm going to tell you who I'm going to blame it on. Let's blame Ernie Ritchie, Coach Ritchie, assistant coach. Let's blame him on that onside kick. Coach Ritchie, you are now. I have good news and bad news, and they're both the same. You're fired.
That was
Coach Ernie Ritchie, the great Gandalf.
That's Gandalf. Oh, Aguilera. And that was Iosefa in the mix, as well as number 9, Vince Garcia for the Braves. Aguilera's a pretty good runner as well. We've seen him throw the football all over the field, but he's a good runner, too.
He's a dual threat.
He is.
Low-key dual threat.
Low-key dual. See, now you're getting it, Jeff.
I got it.
Aguilera doing a good job. But there was Vince Garcia spearing him after a 5-yard gain for the Lions. 2nd and 5 coming up. 9:40 and counting here in the third quarter. Aguilera drops back. Completes another pass. This time going to number 18, Thomas Paschal.
Now they say he didn't get out of bounds either. They're running that clock.
Another first down. You know, Ken Batdorf, not in the formal on-camera interview, but he was telling us when we were talking to him before the game that Linfield Christian, they can throw the football. They can do some things on offense, and that had his concern as Aguilera completed that pass there. Picks up another first down for the Lions. So he knew coming into this game that Linfield Christian could do some things on offense to keep pace with this Norda Vista ground game. And we've seen it so far. The Lions don't have the points to show for it. Carry up the middle.
Somebody lost a shoe.
Saw something flying out there. Let's see. Here's the replay. Let's see if we could.
It's a shoe.
See what happened here.
Let's see. There's a shoe. Shoe comes off. There it is.
Oh, there it is. You're right.
Either a shoe or somebody lost a foot.
Or a big tooth.
Oh.
No, you're right. You're right. Brings up 2nd and 5 for Linfield Christian. Aguilera, here comes the pressure. Gets it off in time. Number 18 for the Braves, Raciel Timoteo. And number 11, Marcus Lane, in pursuit of Aguilera. He had to get rid of that football way before he wanted to.
I'll tell you what, though, he got rid of it at the right time. Great play from that quarterback. I'm impressed with him.
There's number 11, Marcus Lane here. Jeff, for the Braves, he's the one that recovered.
That's right.
That botched punt. Take a look at number 11, Marcus Lane, causing fits for Aguilera. Now 3rd down for the Lions and down 21-3, Jeff. And I know we still got the better part of 8 minutes here in the third quarter, but this might be the time that we start thinking about going forward on 4th down, especially in Norte Vista territory if they don't convert. He's going to be short. The carry by Micah Little, just a little bit short. The 5'6" freshman getting some carries here for head coach Deshaun Burns, but Little is a little bit short, and here comes 4th down. I had to, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it was great, actually. I loved it.
Yeah, it's about 2 yards, 4th and 2.
And you said he'd go for it. Good call there. You do know Coach Burns.
It's that time of the night. Hashtag all gas, no brakes, as he likes to say on social media. Aguilera pulls the trigger, cannot complete the pass. And the Braves will take over. Good job by that Norte Vista defense. You knew the pass was coming, and they turn them away.
Did you see the nice plaque that Ken Baddorf?
I took a picture of it.
You did,
yeah.
You know what I took away from watching that is he outkicked his coverage because his wife is beautiful and his daughter's cute.
You know, Ken has a lot going for him, right? 200 career wins, beautiful family.
Yeah. It's amazing that he has such beautiful family.
He told me he has a beautiful house, too. Like
beautiful house. He's
nice big house.
Stately Baddorf Manor.
A couple of yards here for the Braves.
You know one thing that Ken Baddorf does, though? Every single homecoming game, he takes the entire football team. He buys buses. He goes out and rents buses. He picks them up because we have this big homecoming carnival at our school. He doesn't want them around the kids at the carnival. So he takes them all to his house, and his wife made all of this food.
Is that what you guys were talking about?
Yes, he does it every year.
Like steak and salad,
potatoes, you name it.
Oh, my goodness.
And they sit and play video games, they rest, and they get ready for the game. So Baddorf, he is a philanthropist as well. He gives back to the community.
2nd and 8. The pass is caught. Eli Martinez hauls it down for a 1st down for Norte Vista.
Boy, this is an aerial assault.
So they attempted 14 passes in total through the first 3 games of the season.
How many has he thrown tonight? 8?
I would
9?
You're probably in the ballpark.
And that's about 6 times too many. They have 2 receptions, though.
That was a great catch, too, by Martinez.
Went up there with 2 hands and grabbed it.
Sure did. Hands it off to Iosefa. Oh, boy. Iosefa still on his feet. Good luck with that. There he goes. Damon Iosefa breaks away from the pile. It's a foot race. Does he have the speed? He does. Yes, he does. The big man can move. And it's a touchdown for Norte Vista. Iosefa, they list him at 6'2", 230 pounds. He might be bigger than that.
He just ran, 58 yards for the strike?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you what, he was moving. He had breakaway speed.
Damon Iosefa extends that Norte Vista lead to 27-3. Eli Martinez out there to attempt the extra point. Oh, little trickery to Martinez. The holder flips it to him near the goal line, and he is in on the 2-point conversion. Did you see that flip by the holder?
Wow. Ken Baddorf throwing out all of the, you know what, if that would be the special teams. Okay, Coach Ernie.
You're back on.
You have been rehired.
You are back. Okay, so let's check it out. Here's the touchdown. Iosefa, I would not want to tackle that guy.
I want to race him.
Iosefa takes off on the run. And punches in the touchdown for Norte Vista. And then here on the two-point conversion, the holder.
Hook shot.
The assist. Yeah, the old sky hook to Eli Martinez.
Jabarda Johnson.
Oh, I love it. 29-3. Kind of a weird score to say, 29-3. But that's what it is here at Norte Vista High School with 5:45 to play in the third quarter. So it was a 15-3 game at halftime, and a couple touchdowns here in the third quarter by the Braves, having pushed that lead back up to 26. Over at Ramona High School, big shout out to old Curly Fries watching us on Riverside TV YouTube. He wants to watch the Ramona game, and you guys can as well if you'd like. It's 22-zip Ramona versus Riverside Poly in the third quarter.
I've just been told that all of the players that are playing great for Norte Vista, our commander-in-chief here at Norte Vista, Mr. Ormsby, the great math teacher, said all of his guys are
He
doing
said
great.
all of them? Every
All of
single
them.
one?
All of them are doing great. And he says it's because of his math, his teaching math.
Oh.
It's all geometry to him.
It's all angles.
It's
It's all
It's
angles.
angles and string theories and upper level math. That's why they're playing so well.
X and Y access.
I remember going on a road trip with you, Pep, and you were doing math on a road trip.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, let's pull the curtain back a little bit. Pep and I were calling a game up at UC Santa Barbara.
That's right.
And we drove up, and we had to make multiple stops. And you were on the phone with your daughter doing math.
We were at a gas station in the middle of nowhere, and I'm doing math on the hood of the car.
That's right.
The completion from Aguilera to Grant Taylor for the Lions. I love me some math.
Yeah, see, you're a good math guy. I have a non-math brain.
Hold on, let me think about that for a second. I have a non-math brain.
I have a non-math brain.
Oh, the pass. Aguilera connects the dots again. This one to Marcus Deichel, the sophomore. And that's going to be a nice pickup as well for Linfield Christian into Novi territory.
Deichel broke 4 tackles on that play and then got thumped on the last play. But, man, what a great run there. Look at this.
You know, this might be the theme tonight, Jeff. Linfield Christian moving the football, like these long drives.
Yes.
They just don't have any points to show for it.
They've have great play calling. They've just been, like you said, they've been their own worst enemy. Bad snap here, fumble early on.
Aguilera. Eichel again for the Lions, another first down.
How good are the Lions, though, at that quick pass? I mean, that's what you want from your quarterback. That's where the football game is going, is the quick passes.
Yeah, they're not trying not to let the Braves get a chance to even get into the backfield.
And they're getting a nice little tempo going. Quick huddles here.
Aguilera, there's that pressure, steps up in the pocket, tucks it down. There he goes. Aguilera asking for some blockers downfield. Aguilera to the left side, first down. Still on his feet, cutting towards the end zone. Just about 2 yards shy, but a big run by Aguilera.
Well, leading the break there. Man, he's telling guys.
A little point guard, right?
Yeah, I love it. Well, he is fun to watch. He is a playmaker.
Aguilera feeling that pressure and escapes quickly. Got some help downfield. Nearly got into the end zone. So first and goal here for the Lions, trying to get their first touchdown of this game. First and goal from the 2-yard line. Aguilera to the end zone. Intercepted! Oh, my goodness! This could go back 100 yards the other way for Norte Vista. All the way. Touchdown, Braves. So we have flipped the script here at Norte Vista, and it's number 14 taking it back, Dominic Johnson. Of course, it's the quarterback on the return. Jeff, it looked like the Lions were going to get points. All of a sudden, 100 yards back the other way by Johnson.
And there's that, what we just said, they're their own worst enemy. Just do it, and he jumped right there in his hands. Nobody there to get him. Very, very tough go there for Linfield.
Jumped the route, took that all the way back.
Is that Iowa State
Johnson.
walking back? Look at him. He's walking. He's tired.
Oh,
he
my
won 100
goodness.
yards, and he's been playing the whole game. He should get back there in time.
It's now 35-3. The kick is up, and it is good. 36-3 after the Eli Martinez return. But Dominic Johnson, let's take another look. The interception, he was standing. That was
on.
Yeah, that's 100 yards. Dominic Johnson, man, he is going to enjoy homecoming.
Hey, that's a record.
It might be.
It has to be. What else can you can't go beyond that? Can you go beyond 100 yards?
I guess you could be in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, but you can't say that. You can't add that. You can't just magically add it to the stat.
Well, my non-math brain says you might be able to.
No, my. I was one thing I could do is I could always figure out my average.
Your basketball points per game? Or?
Oh, yeah. Always knew that.
Always.
So that was the extent of my my math. When I was in college, I elected to take the very, very minimal math. I used an abacus.
An abacus?
Yeah, you know those things with the little beads. You go like this.
Oh, is that what that's called?
Yeah, I thought you were a math guy. It's an abacus, my friend.
You called me a math guy. I don't know.
I've seen you. You are a math guy. You were speaking like it was like speaking Chinese when I heard you doing that math. I was like, what is he talking about?
I think it was maybe algebra.
Yeah, your daughter was like 4 and she was smarter than I was.
Ryan McCalmont on the return for Linfield Christian to about the 23-yard line. So the Lions are now facing a 33-point deficit as Norte Vista has scored 3 touchdowns here in the third quarter. Is that right? Let me do some math. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Linfield? You've been everywhere. How cool is the Linfield Christian campus?
They do have a very nice campus.
When you drive up there's ponds.
Yeah.
They have geese. They have got swans. They've got bluegill. Big-mouth bass.
I think this is a home-and-home series. Did they play at Linfield last year?
But they have a great field there. Don't they have a turf field?
They do. Yeah.
It
is a very nice field.
I snuck in and fished there once. I did. My son and I.
Did you catch anything good?
Yeah, we caught a big-mouth Billy bass.
Oh, so it's worth it. Dylan Kane on the reception. Kane ahead to the 30, and that's a first down for the Linfield Christian Lions. And some extracurriculars over here on the Novi sideline.
Do you think they'd be mad knowing that I fished on their campus?
Did you catch and release?
I always catch and release. I caught a turtle there too.
A turtle sunbathe. You can't. I mean, they're sunbathing. You're not
no,
really catching.
No. They go and they took my hot dog.
Oh, they did.
The hot dogs. Oh, I fished. I fished at Linfield Christian. I also got kicked out when I was at Linfield Christian when I was coaching basketball.
For screaming, or
yeah, I got kicked right out of the game, middle of the game.
I believe that. And another first down for the Lions as we approach 2 minutes here in the third quarter.
In fact, I'm going to tell you my Linfield Christian story.
I want to hear it.
We were playing in their tournament, and I had a pretty good team here at Norte Vista. And,
the system.
We were running the system. Brian Weathers was coaching at Linfield.
Oh, was he? Yeah.
Yeah, and we were down like 15, so I started yelling and screaming. I got kicked out of the game, and my assistant, Brian Bell, coached us to a victory. Yeah, I walked out, and they were yelling at me. I grabbed my briefcase, and I drove my car, and I had to call my wife to have her pick me up in front of the parking lot.
Did you really?
Yes.
Another completion by Aguilera. That one going to Pascal.
A beautiful campus. In fact, when I was walking out of the gym, being escorted out, I tell you what.
You were admiring everything.
I was looking at that. I was looking at the door, and then when I was outside and I could hear all the screams inside and the clapping, I said, wow, that's a really nice-looking campus.
You know what? On our way in today here at Norte Vista, and this, I'll tell you why Novi impresses me, I saw that big cattle trailer that you would haul cows in the Novi parking lot, and it feels like home. I used to work on a dairy milking cows. Like,
there's
boy,
snap.
Aguilera is going to fall on it for Linfield Christian, and again, they just cannot get out of their own way.
Yeah, well, after the game's over, do you want to go over and milk some cows?
I could.
We could.
It's like riding a bike. I could still do it.
I'll tell you what. I have a key. We can sneak in. I hope they're milking cows. You don't want to go milk the wrong cow.
We're going to find out.
Now, how long did you milk cows for? How
it was just a summer.
worked hard.
But I saw that cattle trailer, and I'm like, oh, it brings up old memories.
You got kicked by if I recall.
I got kicked really hard. I had a scar on my forearm for years. It finally just went away. Aguilera steps up in the pocket. Oh, he's going to be brought down by a couple Braves. They were looking at 3rd and 25, so now 4th down coming up for the Lions on a minute to go here in the third quarter.
So when you were milking cows, did you say this is the greatest thing ever?
Oh, man.
How hard was that, though?
It was hard. Well, the farm was, as we take another look, nothing doing here for Aguilera. Kind of sounds like a broken record at this point, but yeah, I lived like 45 minutes away from the farm.
Your dad probably made you work.
My mom, my parents, and it was at 3 a.m. I had to be at work at 3 a.m. It was 45 minutes away from my house. I worked weekends and Fridays, and it was just awful. And the fair catch.
No, he's looking for his flag. Oh, he threw it up there.
That's Richardson.
That's all right. It was a gentle tackle. It was as gentle a tackle as you can for a fair catch. Watch. He kind of falls into him. It's more of a hug. It's like low-key hug.
Low-key.
That was a hug.
Yeah.
Would you say that? It's a hug.
That was Carson Drummond
hugging
Richardson.
When you were milking cows, did you have to like put udder cream on them?
Yeah.
So you were rubbing and making sure. Were you talking?
You have to prep them.
Were you
and
friendly
get them going?
with the cows?
Yeah. Well, except for number 87.
That's right. I remember
me.
that 87.
We had a device. We called it the kicker, but it looked like a metal wishbone, and you put it on their hips, and it's supposed to prevent them from kicking. But old 87 kicked it right off, and he kicked my arm.
Did you cry?
No, but no. It hurt. It hurt. There's the handoff. This time, for the first time tonight, Dreddy Elaine. First down for Elaine.
The Elaine train is back.
It's back, and that'll take us into the fourth quarter as Elaine picks up nice chunky yardage there. Take another look. We talked about Dreddy Elaine, and with a 33-point lead, it might be Elaine time. First down.
Brother of Freddie Holly and
Eddie Elaine. There's a lot of cheerleaders here at Norte Vista. A lot of school pride.
I used to be the cheer coach here.
I know, you told me that.
For 3 years, I was the cheer coach. I'd yell at those girls. We were doing,
Did you win some
titles
or awards?
We won a few awards. We would go out to those competitions. Mm-hmm. And I remember we won a big one at Azusa Pacific. It was like Bring It On.
I remember that movie.
Yeah.
It's just been brought.
We brought it. It's been brought. Well, yeah.
That was like a long series, wasn't it? Bring It On and Bring It On
there's
again.
There's a new one. Did you know there's a new one coming out? It's a horror movie.
Oh.
Bring It On Till Death Do Us Part or something like that. Low key.
Oh, man.
What are the fans saying on the live chat? Anything new?
I don't know. Curly Fries has gone radio silent.
Because he's watching the other game.
He's watching the Ramona game. That's why. He says, hey, put the Ramona game on. Calm down, Curly Fries. It is on. Riverside TV is doubling up. I think it's pretty much every Friday, right? Letting the fans pick that flex game.
Oh,
can we announce that?
Hey, let's ask the truck. Can we announce the winner of the flex game?
Hand off to Temple. We'll do it right after this play, Jeff. Temple brought down for a loss.
Okay, the winner of next week's flex game.
I don't even know.
Oh, you don't?
Mm-mm.
It will be. Let me go back to my thing here. It's the Arlington Lions have won the big flex game. Arlington versus. Let's see, who are they playing?
Canyon Springs.
Canyon Springs. You saw Canyon Springs last night.
Yeah. You know what? They lost by a considerable margin to Vista Del Lago, but I'll tell you what. Canyon Springs is actually pretty good. I was impressed. I think that might be a ball game.
Here we go. We got a little Ramona action.
Oh, 22-0. Ramona on top.
I can tell you right now, it's going to be
might be a
Bo
lane
Bruins.
time.
Who do you think?
Bruins?
Bo Bruins.
First down. Looks like from the 2-yard line.
Eddie Elaine.
Here at Norte Vista. Oh, the long pass play to Richardson. A lot of cheerleaders here at Norte Vista.
We missed Ken Batdorf's other pass.
Dominic Johnson connected with Richardson, shy of a touchdown, but it's going to be first and goal from the 10-yard line for Norte Vista. Titles or awards? Here's the replay, because we got like 10, 20 cameras here.
Look at that. I mean,
Johnson.
He's wide open.
To Richardson, yeah.
Oh,
Inside
Richardson
the 10.
took a shot.
Oh, they didn't get a very good mark. They put it right on the 10.
Yeah, that was.
Did Ramona score?
They did.
Okay.
I bet it was Bo Bruins.
29-0 Ramona. So right now, Curly Fries is like, yes. The toss to Elaine. Dreddy Elaine in for the touchdown. The Elaine train part 3 is in for the score.
Didn't you talk to the parents or grandparents?
The grandparents. They said, we got one more. One more coming through the program. And there he is, everybody. Dreddy Elaine. Get to know him. 42-3.
Hey, if you have to watch him, you're going to dread it.
He needs a slogan with a name like Dreddy Elaine.
Dreddy. We got to think of something. You can't. Did you come up with all those nicknames?
Well, they used to call Freddie Holly the Holly Train.
They did.
But then Eddie Elaine came around, and I was like, well,
Elaine
rhymes with
much
train.
better than Elaine Train.
Yeah.
Remember he brought on Freddie? Freddie's probably watching. Remember when he brought on that Mr. 3000?
Oh, that's right.
He brought a big chain on the Inland Sports Show.
That's right, he did, for 3,000 rushing yards.
Yeah, it was like one of those big chains, and he was like, yeah. But then Malesio, remember that other guy that came in after him? He not only had like 3,000, he had like 9,000 yards.
He led the nation, I think. Here's another look at that long pass play as we were trying to go live to Ramona. But it was Johnson to Richardson, and then the toss to Elaine right up through all that traffic and in for the score. It's a Dreddy touchdown, and it's 43-3. It's a 40-point Novi lead.
Yeah, but I was just saying something. What was I just saying? It was something very important. Very important.
The big chain? Malesio led the nation in rushing.
Malesio. I want you to think about this. He had the second greatest season in the history of high school football in the country.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
The second
He was
greatest.
that good.
He had like 586 yards in one game.
Did he only play his senior year, or was he was the starting running back for 1 year?
1 year, and he had.
It's like he was like all of a sudden he's just like the best running back ever.
He played at Citrus Hill his freshman year, didn't play. Then he was out of the country or something for a while.
Oh, the onside kick, and the Braves recover. That was perfect.
That was, but he ran for this. It's the second best running back yards in the history of high school football, countrywide.
He went wild.
He did go wild. And then there was another Malesio.
Yeah.
There's two of them.
They went to a CIF championship game, if I remember right. They played San
You and I called that
Gorgonio.
game. Remember, you and I were. Yeah, I believe seven touchdowns in one game. You and I we're at the San G game.
That was that went to overtime, if I remember. That was a great game.
Remember, and the San G coaches wanted to fight me. Chris Chaddock wanted to fight me.
Now he's your best friend.
Yeah. Wasn't Ron Gehringer coach there too?
Yeah, Ron Gehringer was the coach.
They all wanted to fight me.
Yeah.
I predicted a Novi win.
Yeah, and you almost got it.
Almost. But then after the game, they were all yelling and screaming at me. And now Chris Chaddock and I are best of buddies. Low-key buddies.
Low-key. Oh, man.
How fun has this been, Pep? Thanks for...
It's been a blast. If Linfield Christian could have found the end zone a little bit on those long drives they had, this might have been a little bit of a closer game, but 43-3. And for Norte Vista, Jeff, at least I kind of figured by the end of the season, this Norte Vista team would be much improved from what we saw early on, especially that first game of the year, right out of the gate against Hesperia. I was a little worried, but it looks like old Norte Vista to me.
I want you to really think about the demographics here at Norte Vista. A lot of these kids don't play, junior tackle football. They don't play the junior All-Americans. So when they come to Norte Vista, they're learning football for the first time. And it usually takes them about 5 or 6 games their freshman year before they figure it out. Ron Main was instrumental for most of those 29 years of being the freshman coach.
Oh, on the ground, Elaine falls on it. Norte Vista recovers. That could have been dangerous.
Let's see. Do they give it to them?
Elaine's got it.
Yeah. But Ron Main kind of started this thing, and, he's now just the athletic director. But that is the thing that Ken Batdorf has to be able to do is teach these kids how to play football when they come to Novi. So I think that is a victory in itself, just getting the numbers of kids he has and how much better they become. They do run that child abuse offense kind of thing. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but they do run good stuff, and Ken Batdorf does a great job.
Looks like we're going to see maybe Maybe some of the second stringers, some of the backups here the rest of the way. This time the carry by Vince Garcia, and Garcia is gone. Garcia inside the pylon and in for another Norte Vista touchdown that makes it 49-3 Novi. And Jeff, it was 15-3 at halftime. Like, this was still a very close competitive game.
Then Ken Batdorf brought in all these different running backs we've never heard of.
Everybody's scoring.
Everybody.
Vince Garcia in for the score. He's a senior, 5'10", 200 pounds. They list him as a linebacker, but when you play at Norte Vista, you're not, pigeonholed into one position. You play a lot of different positions. Eli Martinez out there for the extra point. The kick. Oh, it's a line drive. It's off the crossbar. And no good. So it's still 49-3 Norte Vista. Take another look. Garcia.
Man, he was gone.
He was gone. Nothing but open spaces for him.
Get that guy in the...
Over at Ramona, it's now 35-0 Rams on top of Riverside Poly in the Solar Series.
I love John Rice and all those guys over there, but see, I'm a Ramona Ram.
You are.
Go Rams.
You are.
If you go to their stadium, it says Go Rams. The H fell off. It's supposed to say Gorhams. Yeah, you go to Ramona. Anytime you look up, it says Go Rams. It's because the H fell right off. Gorhams.
Gorhams.
I can't wait to see this Ramona Norte Vista matchup. I think we have that game.
I hope so. I think Novi versus Hillcrest could be interesting as well. That one's out of bounds on the ensuing kickoff. Going to mark it at the, looks like about the 40-yard line. And that's where the Lions will take over with about 4.5 minutes to play. So I'm assuming Coach Batdorf is at, 200 and this will be win number 202?
202.
202.
So if he coaches here for another 29 years, even if he dies, we could prop him up. We could stuff him.
Let him get the wins?
Just let him get wins. 29 more years.
What was that movie, Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah.
Yeah. The all-time winningest coach ever.
Yeah, he could be if it comes down to it, he could be the all-time winningest coach.
Grant Taylor on the reception for the Lions.
The history of football. Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Batdorf's.
Weekend at Batdorf's. I know some people. In fact, I think our ag department knows some taxidermists. We could stuff Batdorf at the end of his career. We have to ask his wife, though, if we could use his body.
Let's see. He could probably still go another 29 years.
Really?
If he wants, don't you think?
He's like 70.
Aguilera brought down by Norte Vista. Less than 3.5 to play in this one.
That'd be awesome, though. He'll retire from coaching, and then when he can't walk anymore, you know what I'll do is I'll push him in a wheelchair.
You will? You'll push
because his
him
voice is almost gone, so I'll have to interpret. I'll have to low-key interpret.
I've got some of my tech friends. They're very impressed by the Riverside TV broadcast, so they're asking me tech questions that our one and only director, Scott Brocious, could answer. Nice catch there along the far sideline for Thomas Pascal. We love football, but I also like tech, and they were like, what kind of graphics? What's the name of the graphics software you're using?
It's called the Scott Brocious Graphics. Low-key, he does a great job. Oh, Jason. Jason is the guy that made it. Low-key, Jason.
Low-key. Oh, ball's on the ground. Now Aguilera's going to fall on it.
Low-key hashtag.
That's going to bring up 4th down for Linfield Christian, and they're going to send the punt unit out onto the field.
We do a great job here. I mean, if you compare us to, like, Monday Night Football, I think we're better than the Thursday Night Football broadcast. on Amazon Prime.
On Amazon. Somebody asked me if I watched that, and I said, well, of course, because I got Amazon to watch Lord of the Rings. I'm a big Lord of the Rings nerd.
Are you watching the new show?
I have not seen the one this week, but I watched the first two.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, of course I got it. Did I watch Chiefs versus Chargers? No. But did I watch Lord of the Rings? Yes. Ball's going to bounce inside the 10. And, Jeff, I believe we have a running clock. The clock's still going to move, so this game's going to be over 90 seconds here as Norte Vista is 1 minute and 25 seconds away from improving to 3-1 on the season. So their third consecutive win for head coach Ken Batdorf and the Braves. The Lions will drop to 1-4 on the year. The Lions will actually be in the new Mesquite League.
Oh, look at this. Live look in.
Take a look at Riverside Poly in the fourth quarter, trying to get something going on offense. J.R. Ibarra and Nick Rice on the call over there at Ram High right now.
I love those guys, J.R. Ibarra and Nick Rice. Nick Rice knows nothing, though, outside of football. I mean, absolutely. You ask Nick Rice any question about anything
football.
else, nothing else.
So if I asked him about Gandalf, he would be like, I don't know.
He couldn't even answer.
I don't know.
He'd just look at you.
Is he the O-line coach for the Bears? Like, no, he's not.
Yeah, Nick Rice. He's oblivious to pop culture.
You know what? On National Cheeseburger Day, I might get that cheeseburger. We're about done, Jeff. 30 seconds to go here on Riverside TV.
I can't eat. I'm going to go veggie burger.
No,
I don't do that. Are you kidding me?
49-3 will be the final score, and that will be the last snap of this ball game. So congratulations to Ken Batdorf and the Braves. 202 wins and counting for the Novi head coach as they knock off Linfield Christian here live on Riverside TV. And, Jeff, one more time, again, this was the flex game where the fans get to vote, and they choose who they want to see. The winner, again, for next week is
Arlington versus Canyon Springs.
I think that could be a very good game.
Is it a juicy game?
I would say it's pretty juicy. I'd put a bib on just to be safe.
I'll wear a bib just for you, my man.
Well, the final score here at Norte Vista, it is 49-3. The Braves are now 3-1 on the season. We had 6 different Braves find the end zone tonight in this big win for Norte Vista. Again, 3-1, and a pretty good game for Novi next week as they wrap up non-league play. They're going on the road to play Redlands. I know Redlands tonight is struggling against Palm Springs, but that Terrier team is a little bit better this year. That could be a tough road game for Novi next week.
Nope. Novi's going to – I'm sorry. Novi's going to win that one, and they're going to –
My non-math brain says Novi's going to score some touchdowns.
They're going to score some touchdowns. You got to love Norte Vista, but I tell you what, they're going to get another victory going into league. They're going to be 4-1.
They might.
I just said
they sure might. Novi might be going on a roll here. All right, final score from Norte Vista High School is the Braves 49, Linfield Christian 3. A big thanks to our entire crew here, including our director Scott Brocious behind the scenes. Again, Ramona versus Riverside Poly, also live on Riverside TV. So if you're on YouTube right now, you can pop on over and check out that game as well. For Jeff Gorham, I'm Pep Fernandez, and we will see you next time.